जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभा यशोदानंदन व्रज यमुना तीरा यमुना तीरा गौर प्रेमानंदे जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र शत श्री श्रीमद अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की श्रीमद् भगवद गीता यथारूप की निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे All glories to assemble devotees. All glories to assemble devotees. All glories to assemble devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Glories to Srila Prabhupada. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशकारिणे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामने गौरतिशे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So I am very grateful to be in the wonderful association of Kanhaiya Rish devotees, and this is my second time to this place, and I am very grateful. Last time also I think we discussed from 4th chapter only and this time again we are discussing with 4th chapter. Actually this is the greatest gift of Krishna, association of devotees. साधु संगे कृष्ण नाम एक मात्र चाहि संसार जनेते और कोनो वस्तु नाहि. Greatest gift Krishna can give us is association of devotees. And Krishna himself aspires for association of his devotees. Therefore Krishna misses Vrindavan when he goes to Dwarka. There are devotees in Dwarka too, but he is eager to meet more devotees, Vrindavan devotees. That is Krishna's aspiration. So when you love something, when you love somebody, you want to offer him the best you have. And Krishna loves all of us. So what best Krishna can give us? Devotee association. That's the best Krishna has. Therefore, sansare janete aur kono vastu nahi. In this world, there is nothing greater than having devotee association. And in devotee association, sadhu sange Krishna naam. Not sadhu sange prajalpa. Not sitting together and chit-chatting. No. In association of devotees, there should be exchange of Krishna. Macchitta matagata prana bodhayanta parasparam. Devotees meet, they discuss Krishna. They exchange Krishna. They share Krishna. In that way, Krishna becomes more and more present in our lives. That's the way of receiving Krishna in our life. What is greatest gift of Srila Prabhupada? He gave us opportunity to associate with devotees. He gave us opportunity to hear Krishna Katha in the association of devotees. And that's how we develop our love, our attachment to Krishna. How we purchase a product? By hearing about it. You may be watching lecture of your spiritual master on YouTube. Suddenly the advertisement will come. Purchase this. And again you are skipping it, but it will come again and again. And as you will hear it again and again, when you will go to shop, you will ask for the same product. So by hearing, attachment develops. By hearing, our aspiration, eagerness to get that object, that desire develops. So when we hear about Krishna, then we develop attachment to Krishna. We develop eagerness to go back to Krishna, to serve Krishna. That is our real nature. Jiver Swarup hai Nitya Krishna Das. We are Krishna's eternal servants. But because we are Tathastha, we are on the margin. We have scope of going to Maya or going to Krishna. We take undue advantage of that freedom. One time, one devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, why Krishna made this material world? Prabhupada became very furious. He said, you rascal, Krishna didn't make material world. You made material world. Because you desired your misuse of free will, Krishna had to facilitate you to come here. But when Jiva realizes, no, I am servant of Krishna, I need to go back to Krishna, that is his real nature. In Ramayana, there is a beautiful anecdote where Lord Ramchandra goes from Pampa Sarovar to Rishimukh Parvat, Rishimukh mountain. And when he walks, then Lakshman asked Lord Ram, why are you going? Generally, a junior should come to senior. And you are the Supreme Lord. You should call Sugriv. He should come. Why are you going to him? Lord Ramchandra said, no, my devotees are greater to me. And I am subservient to my devotees. So I should go to them. When finally he reached near the mountain, the monkeys thought, who are these two boys? They look like Kshatriyas, but they are dressed like monks. Let's test them. Let's know who are they. So they sent Hanuman. And Hanuman went in disguise and asked Lord Ram, who are you? Lord Ram gave the introduction. And then Lord Ram asked him, who are you? So Hanuman said, I am servant of Sugriv. When Lord Ram heard it, Lord Ram didn't like that answer. After that, Lord Ram told Lakshman to speak to Hanuman. Directly, Lord Ram is not speaking to Hanuman. Hanuman realized his mistake. What was the mistake? Actually, we are servant of Krishna, we are servant of Ram, not servant of some Sugrivs of this world. Of course, that time Sugriv was not pure devotee. Later on, when he got Shraddha in Lord Ram, then that subject fits. Okay, servant of the servant. But we are servant of Krishna. We are not servant of these materialistics. That relationship has to be revived. When somebody asks us, who are you? Servant of Krishna. We are Das. This word Das is the most important title somebody can get. Unfortunate people cannot become servant of Krishna. Only fortunate people come to Krishna consciousness. Sumedhasa, yajantihi sumedhasa. Only intelligent people, fortunate people, they come to Krishna consciousness. So we are fortunate to have this wonderful gift of Krishna consciousness. So today we are discussing from Bhagavad Gita. Srila Prabhupada emphasized studying Bhagavad Gita. In fact, he was asked that once you complete Srimad Bhagavatam, which book you will write after Srimad Bhagavatam? Prabhupada said, I'll write another commentary on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. He liked Bhagavad Gita so much. Somebody asked Prabhupada, which is your favorite adhyaya? He said, Bhagavad Gita, 11th chapter. Generally, 11th chapter, we see, oh, Virat Purusha, and devotees are not very impressed by it. In fact, Arjuna is saying that Krishna, I can't bear this form. But Prabhupada is saying, no, that is my favorite chapter. Why? It's easy to convince people Krishna is God through that chapter. Prabhupada wanted us to study Bhagavad Gita. We are beginners in Krishna consciousness. And we begin with Bhagavad Gita. When we understand the relationship, then we can study Srimad Bhagavatam. And look at the analogy. Bhagavad Gita is compared to Dugdham Gitamritam Mahat, to the milk. When child is born, what he drinks? Milk. Only milk is his food. When he grows up, then he say, okay, give me fruit juice. What is that fruit juice? Nigama kalpatarur galitam phalam. That is Srimad Bhagavatam. So fruit juice will come later, but milk will come first. That is Bhagavad Gita. And we should scrutinizingly study Srila Prabhupada's books. He wanted us to study deeply. One time when Mataji was distributing Srila Prabhupada's books on the signal, and as the car stopped, she was telling the driver, please purchase this book. It's a very nice book. So a voice came from the back seat. What is inside the book? Mataji could not answer. Then the person rolled down the mirror. Who was that? Srila Prabhupada. He was sitting. He said, did I write these books just for selling? I wrote for all of you. We should study Srila Prabhupada books scrutinizingly. So there are two ways of studying Srila Prabhupada books. One is knowing the subject matter, like knowing the summary or the synopsis of the subject. Prabhupada did that in Srimad Bhagavatam. He gave chapter summaries in many of the chapters. I think after 4th canto, Prabhupada started giving chapter summaries. And those summaries give us idea, okay, what are the contents of this chapter. And then Prabhupada also wanted us to study verse by verse. So we go deep in the teachings of each word, each verse. So today what we will do the summary study of 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So in 3rd chapter, Krishna ends by telling Arjuna the ill effects of lust, greed, anger. And Krishna also tells to get rid of these intricacies of lust, greed and anger, one should have knowledge. And now in this chapter, Krishna is giving that transcendental knowledge. So chapter name is Divya Gyan, transcendental knowledge. So Krishna is giving us that weapon, how to overcome lust, greed, anger. So this is the chapter summary. The first section is Krishna is telling the parampara system. How this knowledge is given in parampara, the lineage of knowledge. Second part is Krishna's divine nature. Krishna tells how he is not the part of this material world. Why he descends, purpose of his descent. Then Krishna's supreme position as creator, understanding karma on the platform of Gyan, then attaining Gyan through Yajna, and ultimately glories of Gyan, because the chapter is Gyan Yoga. So let's go inside the contents. As you know, it starts with Evam Parampara Praptam. Krishna starts to tell how he gave this knowledge to Vivaswan, Suryadev, then to Manu, then to Ikshvaku. Somebody may ask, why only to the kings? Is Krishna partial? Why only to the kings? Imagine you are in a place where there is a river and you have to cross river to go to your work or to school or different places. Now only those who know swimming can cross that river. But if somebody can construct a bridge, then even animals, even lame people, they can cross that river. Those who don't know swimming, they can also cross that river. So when this knowledge is given to the kings, they would facilitate execution of Krishna consciousness. They would make arrangements for citizens to practice Krishna consciousness. That is the reason this knowledge was given to the kings. And also, of course, as the great people follow some principle, general people always follow them. So when king becomes devotee, naturally everybody becomes devotee. So the kings were given this knowledge, starting from Ikshvaka. And why Krishna is saying, I have to give it again and again? Why again and again? Because sakalena mahata. Over the time, this knowledge gets lost. This is the principle of world. Things go downwards. You drop something, it will go down. Consciousness will go down. Enthusiasm will go down. People subscribe for gym. And the schemes, at least in India I have seen, they have packages. Okay, 1 month, 10,000 rupees. But 3 months, 20,000 rupees. 6 months, 30,000 rupees. Person thinks, oh, if I pay monthly, I have to pay 10,000. But if I take for 6 months, 30,000 means 5,000 a month. I am in profit. And they subscribe for 6 months. But after 2-3 days, person doesn't go there. So they are always in profit. Although in gym you will not see crowd, but they are always in profit. How? People come, they pay, and they don't come back. So nature of this world is sakalena mahata. Things fall over time. There is a small clip here.
Okay. All right. So let's have Matthew then start.
Oh my god. Oh no. Wait, what's the I can't
No talking.
Really?
Okay. So what do you think it is? Okay. And let me get a picture of what the word was, what the sentence was.
So that's the sakalena mahata. Over time, it gets lost. First person told something, but then over the time, people add, people subtract, and the original purpose is lost. So then there is need of revising, sakalena, revising, re-establishing religion, dharma. And who all come to re-establish that religion? Krishna comes himself, or Krishna sends his representative. Like Srila Prabhupada, he is Yuga Acharya, he is re-establishing dharma, Sankirtan dharma. Although Chaitanya Mahaprabhu established it 500 years ago, Srila Prabhupada re-established it. So like that Krishna comes. Although there are Yuga avatars, but there are so many other incarnations of Krishna. Therefore, we read in Bhagavatam, Avatari Asankhayo, Asankhya avatars. They come and they make sure pure teachings are given. And then Krishna's representative also do the same work. So in the course of time, the succession was broken and Krishna has to give it again. So Arjuna may ask, and why are you giving me specifically? Because Krishna trusts Arjuna. Krishna can rely on Arjuna. Because Arjuna is Krishna's best friend and devotee. Both qualities are important. One has to be favorable to Krishna. Friend means favorable. And second is, he should be a devotee of Krishna. There can be devotee, but what if he comes for some material gain to Krishna? He is also devotee. But he is not able to convey the message as it is. But Krishna is giving to Arjuna because he is not only devotee, he is friend. He is favorable to Arjuna. So this is Krishna's expectation. That okay, this is my devotee, he will continue my message. And devotee also understand Krishna's best gift is this transcendental knowledge. Not dhanam dehi, janam dehi, rupavati bharyam dehi. We are not here for that. What we need from Krishna? Transcendental knowledge. What Guru gives? Divyagyan hriday prakashita. That's the best gift. One time one man went to a shopping mall and he went to an electronic shop and he told the salesman, give me this fridge. This person said, no, I cannot sell it to you. Person get very offended. Why? I have money, why is not selling me? Then he went and he changed his get-up. He put some mustache, beard, some cap. He changed his get-up and again went. He said, I want this fridge. He said, no, I cannot sell you. He became very upset. The third time he went with another get-up, maybe dhoti, kurta, shaven head. Again he said, give me this fridge. He said, I cannot give you. So then this person was so angry. He called his manager. What kind of people you have kept, I have money, I came to buy. He is not selling me this fridge. He called the salesman. Manager asked, what happened? He said, sir, this person is calling washing machine to be fridge. How can I sell him fridge? He doesn't know what is washing machine, what is fridge. If I sell him, he will be upset later. That is our problem. We come to Krishna for something else. How Krishna can give us bhakti? Krishna gives this knowledge to those who can value it. Therefore, bhakta and sakha, both qualities are important. Now, Arjuna asks, okay, I am your friend, I can take this knowledge, but don't tell me that you have given it to Vivaswan. We were raised together, we have seen each other as kids, and we grown together. Even we married, around same time. How you can see you have given this knowledge to Vivaswan? Blind faith versus true faith. It's important. Only ISKCON is an organization where after each class we say any questions. Now of course many others started to copy that. But look at the openness in this society. Prabhupada started this culture. Any questions? Even new devotee giving class for the first time, he'll say any questions. It's a big thing. You are telling a group of people any questions as if you know everything. But on which strength we tell that? Strength of parampara. Okay, we have the backup of parampara. So we can at least repeat. Or else we can tell, okay, I'll check and I'll come back later. But there is scope of question. Otherwise, maximum places you go, you tell, oh, why this? No, do not ask question. No. Don't doubt. Just follow what we are saying. This is blind faith. You see, if you have to be follower, you can't be blind. Suppose you have to go to airport, you don't know the way. Somebody is leading you. He is driving, you are driving after him, behind him. If you close your eyes, can you follow him? So follower cannot be blind. Follower has to understand the concept. Follower has to understand the teachings which he is receiving. So Arjuna asked, how come, you gave this knowledge to Vivaswan? Krishna says, yes, I and you both, we took many, many births. Only difference is, you forget everything, I remember everything. How is that? How Krishna remembers everything and we don't remember everything? Because Krishna's body is spiritual. Our body is material. Our body is comprised of senses. And there are two bodies, material body and the gross body and subtle body. Now where we store memory? We store memory in subtle body. Again, which is material. Where we store experiences? In material body. So when we transmigrate, material body changes. Even subtle body changes according to our level of consciousness. So the storage of knowledge doesn't remain with us all the time. Whereas Krishna's body is spiritual, which is permanent. So whatever knowledge he has, it is permanent. Now this concept people don't want to accept. Why? Because if I have material body, God also has to have material body. Therefore they come to Mayavad. How can Krishna have spiritual body? No. Either I should also have spiritual body or else Krishna should have material body. Therefore they say God has no form, no body. That is Mayavad. Because I am blind, everybody else should be blind. How they can see it? No. This is not the concept. Krishna is saying, no, my body is spiritual. My senses are spiritual. I don't come like you, Arjun, according to your karma. I come by my own sweet will. Sambhavami Atma Mayaya. I come by my own energy, my own sweet will. How many of us select our parents? Anyone? Everybody will select Ambani or some big person. We don't select. We are born as per our previous karma, as per our desires in the previous lives, sanskaras. But Krishna is free. He selects his parents. People worship him. Can you become my son? Krishna says, okay, I'll become your son in this time. Sambhavami Atma Mayaya. He selects his place of birth. He selects his caste of birth. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu selected that, okay, in previous life I became son of a Vaishya, now I will become son of Brahmana. Because in that time, Kali Yuga was like, the people of Kali Yuga were following rigid Varnashram. They were doing karma kandas, smartas. And they were following Brahmana very rigidly. And they would respect sannyasis. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu selected a family of Brahmanas. Okay, I will be born in the family of Brahmanas. People will respect me. Then I can give them message. Then he took sannyas. Okay, as a sannyasi, people will respect me, then I can preach to them. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can select. I was hearing a lecture of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. He was saying, if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would take birth now, he would have become a cricketer. But that's more easy. And now this lecture was 30 years back. Maybe now if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu decides to descend, he will become a YouTuber or social influencer. He can select. We cannot select. Sambhavami Atma Mayaya. And when does Krishna comes? Next verse Krishna says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. Whenever there is decline in religion, I descend. That's the purpose of my descent. I don't come to enjoy in this world because there is nothing to enjoy in this world. I am happy in my dham. But why I come? To re-establish dharma. And not only that, paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So I protect my devotees and I annihilate the miscreants. Re-establish dharma. What is dharma? Prabhupada writes a beautiful purport. Because dharma is what Krishna says. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavad pranitam. If tomorrow Krishna says don't chant and just sleep, sleeping will be dharma. How nice it would be. Every initiated devotee has to sleep 10 hours a day. I take a vow to sleep 10 hours a day. Not minimum 10 hours. Krishna's instruction would be dharma. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavad Prabhu. Krishna's way, Krishna's plan, that is dharma. We don't decide what is dharma. So when people, they argue, this is right, that is right, what value that has? Prabhupada used to say, two lawyers can fight. This is right, that is wrong, this is right, that is wrong. Ultimately, what judge will say, that will happen. There is no scope of discussion after judge tells. In the same way, when Krishna is giving religion, Krishna is giving dharma, there is no scope of discussion. When Krishna is saying, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Eva Kevalam, Kalau Nasteva, Nasteva, Nasteva Gatiranyatha. That's the whole purpose. That's the whole spirit of dharma. Krishna is very clear in that. And then Krishna says, actually, one who understands this much can get liberated. That my form is not material. Janma karma chame divyam. That's the first aspect of transcendental knowledge. Don't compare ourselves with Krishna. We can never become God. God is God. We are just happy Krishna is God. And we are happy that we are His servants. First aspect of knowledge. And when we relish that knowledge, His janma, His karma, person become liberated. As we discussed in the beginning, when we get to know somebody, we get attached to him. We want to go to him. Suppose you get news that wherever you go in world, you get gold in a certain price. What's the price now? Gold? Anybody? Jewelers here?
20 kg per gram.
20 kg per gram. That means for 1 kilo how much? 20,000 kg for 1 kg gold. In Indian rupees how much? I know you are very expert in converting kg into rupees. So 20,000 kg in rupees how much? 70 lakhs. So for 70 lakh rupees you will get gold anywhere you go. Little bit more or less. Okay? But if you get information, one person is selling gold for 100 rupees 1 kg. Authentic, bona fide gold. 100 rupees 1 kg. Who will not go to that place? Please raise your hand. Original gold, 100 rupees 1 kg. Who will not go? Everybody will go. We realize in this world, we endeavor so hard. Then also nobody is happy with us. We are not happy with them. Even if you cut your throat and give to somebody, they will say, you cut in a little slant way, it's not a perfect cut. Nobody will be happy with us, and we are not happy with everybody. We are not happy with anybody. But there is one person who is ready to accept us as we are. That is Krishna. There is one person who is waiting to receive us as we are. That is Krishna. Who will not go to his shelter. Therefore, Janma Karma Cha Me Divyam. Those who understand Krishna's nature, His activities, His compassion, they Punar Janma Naiti. There is no rebirth because they go back to Krishna Loka. That is Krishna's mercy. Now somebody may ask, okay, Arjun may ask, you are speaking, people go to you. Did it happen in the previous times? Anybody reached you? Yes, Krishna tells in 10th verse. Yes. Many people taking my shelter, they came to me. Many people, many examples are there. So this is not new process. It's not invented. This process was always there. There are always suras and asuras. Those who take shelter of Lord are suras. Those who rebel, they are asuras. So there are so many people who already achieved that. So this is the first section. How much time we have? Till 11 or?
11:15.
11:15, okay. So the second section is, Arjun may ask, Krishna, you are saying, when we come to you, when we surrender to you, you will take us back. Is that mean, if we do anything else that is useless? Krishna says no. It's not useless, but of less use is difference. Every path will come to me. But if you come directly, you are wise. So Krishna is saying, next, as somebody will approach me, I'll reciprocate accordingly. Ye yatha mam prapadyate. And every path leads to me. But some paths are direct, some are indirect. Like suppose somebody asks how to go from Kanhaiya Desh to Delhi. There can be so many ways. You take a flight from here to London, from London to New York, New York to San Francisco, San Francisco to Japan, Japan to Singapore, Singapore to Mumbai, Mumbai to Delhi. Is it not reaching Delhi? Yes. But you can have direct flight from Kanhaiya Desh to Delhi. Is it possible? Yes. Both paths are going to Delhi. Which path you will take?
Direct flight.
Direct flight. Unless you have so much money and so much time, you will take a direct flight. In the same way, you can when you can eat like this, you don't need to eat like this. You can eat like this also. But you don't need to. You can eat directly. So Krishna is saying, yes, I am reciprocating with everybody. If somebody offers worship to demigods, I help them also. If somebody doesn't worship anybody, is atheist, I help them also. If somebody worship himself, I make them feel they are God. So I help them also. But those who surrender to me unconditionally, I accept them as my pure devotees. So ye yatha mam prapadyate. Krishna is ready to reciprocate, but we have to be wise. Which one is best? And to facilitate everybody, Krishna has created Varnashram. This is Krishna's mercy on us, so that everybody feels included. It's not that, oh, you believe this or else you are going in hell forever. No, this is not Krishna's formula. Krishna includes everybody. Like a father, if he has 3 or 4 children and everybody has different needs, father will try to cater to all of them. Somebody may be very qualified, somebody may not be qualified, but Father never rejects anybody. That is the all merciful nature of the Supreme Lord. So Krishna is saying here, okay, because I include everybody, I have created a system. That is Varnashram. What is Varnashram? Guna Karma Vibhagasha. According to person's inclination, they can act in society. They are free to do that. Otherwise, how Hiranyakashipu's son became Prahlad? According to his nature. How a Brahmana's son became Ravan? According to nature. Kansa was in the family of Vrishnis. He became like this. So there are so many examples in the history. One time a Gautama Rishi, one boy reached Gautama Rishi and he told, I want to study under you. Gautama Rishi said, I only teach Brahmanas. Who is your father? And he says, I don't know who is my father. He said, okay, you ask your mother who is your father. So this boy went back to his mother and asked, who is my father? Mother said, actually I was a servant, I was a maid servant, I don't know who is your father. This boy came back and told this as it is to Gautama Rishi. I don't know who is my father, my mother doesn't know who is my father. Gautama Rishi said, because you have this courage to speak truth, you are eligible to become Brahmana. So I will teach you in Brahmana Gurukul. That was Varnashram. And Prabhupada says both are required, Guna, Karma. If Guna are there of Brahmana, but work they are doing of Shudra, then also problem. Yes, I am Brahmana, but I sweep floor. Then it will not make sense. Brahmana's work is also important, Guna is also important. Now reverse it. Karma is of Brahmana, but no Guna of Brahmana. Then also it will not work. So both Guna, Karma, Vibhagasha. Both will work, then person can work. This is not caste system. Misunderstood. Caste system was actually breaking the most basic principle of Varnashram. How can a son of judge be a son of judge be a judge by birth? How can son of doctor be a doctor by birth? Not possible. But why it was like that? Why people used to consider Brahmana's son to be qualified to become Brahmana? Because he would get that culture from the beginning of his life. Like suppose you get birth in the family of chartered accountants. From birth, from childhood only you, right? You see auditing, you see this and that. Naturally feel like, okay, let me also become chartered accountant. If you take birth in a family of doctors, from birth only you see, okay, patients are coming, father, mother treating them, people are blessing, oh, you have done big favor on us. So you also feel, oh, this is nice job, I should become a doctor. Person born in family of teachers, feel like that. So that was the plus point of getting birth in a good varna. But that was not the only qualification. Krishna clarifies. Then somebody may ask, okay, so which varna you are, Krishna? Somebody say you are Vaishya, but somebody say you are Kshatriya. Somebody say you are born in Vasudev's home, somebody say you are born in Nanda's home. Somebody say, oh, because you are tending cows, you are a Vaishya. Somebody say, because you are ruling, you are a Kshatriya. Who are you? Krishna again reminds, Arjun, you are making same mistake. I am not part of this game. I am the creator of this game. I am not part of this game. So, nahi namam karma karmani lipyanti. I don't get affected. I don't get caught in this game. So, king is not subject to the rule. King makes the rule. He is the rule maker. So, Krishna is having that position. So, like that, Krishna is explaining that. Next is understanding the intricacies of karma. So, I will not go into each verse. Krishna talks about three kinds of karma. Because he already told karma, guna, vibhagasha. So, gunas, we don't have much control on gunas. Because gunas, you know how we get gunas? Gunas are the sanskaras which we get from previous karma. So like if I commit a sinful activity, I get twofold reaction. One is reaction to that karma and one is sanskara of that karma. Like suppose a thief steals. So one thing is he did this robbery, he stolen something, so he will get punished for it. But another thing is he will get tendency to steal again. That is guna. So previous karma becomes today's guna. It becomes today's sanskara. So we don't have much control on it. But one thing we have control is karma. So Krishna expands on this karma aspect. What is karma? The three types of karma. There is karma, vikarma, akarma. Karma means karma according to scriptures. Okay, you want to enjoy? Follow the injunctions of the scriptures. Like, if you want to get highly paid, you do as boss does, as boss expects you to do. You will get highly paid. That is karma. Vikarma is, you steal something from the office. That is vikarma. So going against the scriptures is vikarma. But bad news is, either karma or vikarma, both will bind us. Because even to get good karma, we have to come in this body. And this body is instrument to receive pain. No matter whatever we do. Look at this finger. How many ways we can give pleasure to this finger? Any guess? The small finger, how many ways we can give pleasure to this finger? Okay, let's ask this way. How many ways we can give pain to this finger? Raise your hands. Yes, Prabhu? You pull the nail out. Oh, 3rd degree torture. Then burn it. Okay. Cut it. Then press it. Then point it. Then somebody will break it. Anyway. Then how we can pinch it? Okay. Then smash it on the door. Then hammer it. Put acid on it. Cut with a blade. If I ask everybody, you can give innovative ideas. Now this principle is applicable to each part of our body. You cannot give pleasure to this body because this body is instrument to receive pain. So you have multiple ways to give pain to this body, but no ways to give pleasure to this body. So only way is to come out of clutches of this body. And how we can do that? As long as we will do karma, we will be bound to the body. Either good karma or bad karma, karma or vikarma. Only thing to come out of clutches of body is stopping karma. And that karma is akarma. Akarma means which doesn't have any material effect. It looks like karma, but it's not karma. Like Arjun is fighting for Krishna and Duryodhana is also fighting. But how many of us name our children after Duryodhana? Nobody. But Arjun is a famous name. Arjun, Sabyasachi, Konte, etc. Both are doing the same activity, but one is being glorified, one is being criticized. Because one is doing for Krishna, he is not bound to that karma. But Duryodhana is getting bound. So Krishna is telling, do akarma. And then he teaches inaction in action and action in inaction. We should learn to see inaction in action. Means what? Inaction in action means Krishna is telling only somebody who has full knowledge of karma, he can understand, if I do this karma for Krishna, I will not be bound. Krishna never tells us to renounce our work. He never tells us. That is immaturity. Krishna is never expecting us to do that. Krishna is telling to transcend our karma, to transcend our activities. We used to earn before, we will earn now also, but now we will earn for Krishna. We used to take care of family before also, but now we will accept family as Krishna's family. Krishnera sansara karo, chhadiya na chhad. That is inaction in action. And that is technically called as yajna. Yajna means activity done for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. So each activity can become yajna if we do it for Krishna. That is the easiest way to get rid of the clutches. Then Krishna tells about different types of yajna. As he already mentioned previously, that there are so many ways and I give scope to everybody. So Krishna tells, okay, there are different types of yajna also. Some people want to please the demigods, somebody are impersonalists, so they do that yajna. Somebody, they want to control their senses and get yogic siddhis, that is also yajna. Some people want to just enjoy, that is also yajna. But best yajna is where there is self-control, there is charity, there is austerity, there is spiritual study. These are the transcendental yajnas, by which slowly, gradually, person can come closer to me. What is the purpose of so many yajnas? Purpose of all yajnas is to please Vishnu. Samsiddhim haritoshanam. Now Arjun may ask, okay Krishna, what is yajna for me then? You have to fight, Arjun. Okay, you are standing in front of me, you are telling me I have to fight. What will happen to people of Kanhaiya Desh? How they will understand what is their yajna? You will not be there for everybody. How they will get that knowledge? Krishna tells they have to go to a guru. Tad viddhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. So how we will understand what is karaniya, what we have to do, what is work for us, what is yajna for us, Guru will tell. Because he understands our nature and he knows on which level we are. Some disciples are karma adhikari, some disciples jnana adhikari, some are bhakti adhikari. Guru engaged different disciples according to different inclinations. He knows who can chant full day, he knows who cannot chant full day. So accordingly Guru engages. Therefore Srila Prabhupada gave us ISKCON. We come together, do some service, preach, because we cannot chant whole day. That is Guru's work. And Krishna tells three aspects: Pranipat, Pariprashna, Sevaya. A wonderful example has been given by Srila Jiva Goswami. He talks about Vatsanyaya. Vatsanyaya means logic of a calf. How calf gets milk from mother cow? He has to follow three principles. Otherwise he will not get milk. First of all, calf has to bend down because the udder of cow is low. So calf has to bend down. That is pranipate. Without surrender, we will not get knowledge. Like when somebody garlands, you have to bow down. Otherwise, how they will garland? So until we don't bow down, we cannot get mercy. We cannot get this knowledge. So first thing is pranipat. Bow down. Second thing is, this vatsa or calf, he pushes the udder to get milk. Have you seen? I don't know if here you have seen, but in India I'm sure you must have seen how a calf drinks milk. He pushes little bit, and that's how he gets the milk. That is pariprashnena, asking genuine questions. Guru will reveal to a genuine disciple. Guru will see, okay, he is eager to receive this knowledge. Then he will give more. Otherwise, body and soul, body and soul. Prabhupada is giving each lecture body and soul because we are still not on the level of that understanding. But as the questions, as the inquiries go deep, Guru reveals deeper secrets to disciple. Pariprashnena. And third thing is, when this calf starts to grow little horns, this little horns coming, then starts hurting cow. Then cow no more gives milk. Then cow tells, okay, now you're grown enough, go and eat grass. No more milk for you. So when we start showing these horns to Guru, then Guru stop giving education. So there should be mode of sevaya, seva bhav. Not I'm intelligent. Don't show expertise to your Guru. We should be in the humble mode of servant of the servant. We keep getting the milk of transcendental knowledge. So Krishna is giving this wonderful principle. What are the results of that gyan? One who gets that gyan, what are the results? No bewilderment. Person doesn't get confused. He has a pure vision what to do. All sins are destroyed because the cycle of karma is destroyed. Reactions are destroyed. And he gets pure in his activities, life and karma. Because the start of our material world is, our material existence is avidya. Forgetting Krishna, forgetting our own selves, avidya is the start of our clutches in this material world. And antidote to avidya is Divya Gyan. So when we receive that Divya Gyan from Guru, avidya is avidya vinashi jati. Divya Gyan, prema bhakti jahan hoite, avidya vinashi jati. So avidya is gone, and prema bhakti comes. And then in that light, there is no more bondage. Who can attain Gyan? Who can get that Gyan? One prominent qualification, one who has Shraddha, one who has faith. If one doesn't have faith, he cannot gain that transcendental knowledge. Like look at Srila Prabhupada disciples. So much faith on Srila Prabhupada. They don't need any scriptural reference. We from Indian background are spoiled. We need scriptural injunctions. Show me Prabhu where they described about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in scriptures. Then we have to give PPT presentation. Oh, in this Puran, that Puran. For Prabhupada disciples, Prabhupada said, enough. That is Shastra. Guru's Vakya is Shastra. Veda gaye jahare charita. Vedas are singing glories of spiritual master. So every word coming from mouth of spiritual master is scripture. They are living Bhagavad, they are walking Bhagavad. There is no other proof which is required. The Shraddha should be there. One time in Mayapur, Jamnivas Prabhu, he asked one Prabhupada disciple, Mataji, he asked, she was very elderly and was very sickly also. So Jamnivas Prabhu asked, Mataji, you are very sick. Are you confident after death you will go back to Godhead? A heavy question. Mataji said, I am 100% sure I will go back to Godhead. He said, how come you are telling that? Well, I have no confidence in myself. But Prabhupada said, chant 16 rounds, follow 480 principles, stay in ISKCON, I will take you to the spiritual world. And I did this, I have full confidence, Prabhupada will take me. That is confidence. Shraddhavan lavate jnana. When Shraddha, will get the transcendental knowledge. If no Shraddha, what will happen? Next. He cannot attain the Jnana. Those who are ignorant and ashraddha, faithless, always doubt, they can never attain Krishna consciousness. Again, the chapter begins with Arjuna's query. Krishna, how come you gave knowledge to Vivaswan? Genuine inquiry is not doubt. Doubt is when you doubt the person himself, when you doubt the process itself, then there is problem. If you have faith, this parampara is genuine, Guru is genuine, then doubt should be according to our challenges which we are facing in spiritual life. That doubt you can ask. But doubting the person, doubting the parampara, there will be no Divya Gyan. And then person will become completely free. That is called Yoga Sannyas. Yoga Sannyasta Karmana. That is the complete giving up, reaction of the fruits of the karma. So that way Krishna is telling. Can somebody read the translation? 41st. Somebody has Bhagavad Gita here? One who renounces fruitive actions by karma yoga, who doubts have been destroyed by knowledge, and who has realized the self, is not bound by reactions of work, O conqueror of the riches. So he is telling Dhananjay, learn this. If you get this knowledge, your doubts will be vanquished, you will no more clutches of karma, you will be free. Therefore, cutting all doubts which have arisen from ignorance, with the sword of knowledge, rise and fight. Krishna is convincing Arjuna. Do what I am telling you to do. Don't apply your own speculation. So we don't have to fight after reading this verse. But we have to understand, get the knowledge from Guru, and we have to do as Guru will tell. Krishna would have told Arjuna, go to the forest, he would have went to the forest. There is another example in Bhagavatam, where Swayambhu Manu is telling Dhruva, stop fighting. And he stops fighting. Where Brahma is telling Prithu Maharaj, stop yajna, he stops yajna. So whatever instruction is given, if we can do that, that is pure akarma, and it will not bound. So that is the summary study of 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. It's 11:15. So I will not go beyond. Hare Krishna. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Samavek Bhakta Guru ki, Bhagavad Gita as it is ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Any questions? Okay. Any questions? Yes.
Thank you so much.
Can give him mic.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much for the wonderful transcendental session. You have summarized chapter 4 so nicely. Prabhuji, the submissive attitude. How do we cultivate a submissive attitude, both in the physical sense as well as in the mental sense? You can please clear us on that. Thank you.
Submission starts with honesty. Somebody who is honest means he is submissive. Submissive doesn't mean yes, 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 yes. Suppose your guru is telling you, can you drive me to airport? I am very submissive, I will drive. Although I don't know driving, but Guru told what to do. I will drive my Guru. Maybe we'll meet accident, what to do? My Guru told I am very submissive. That is not submission, that is foolishness. Difference between foolishness and submissive is honest. Disciple is honest. So if he is not able to follow some instruction, then also he will go to Guru and admit it. Guru Maharaj, you told me this. Or whoever is guiding us. Prabhuji, you told me this, but I am not able to follow this. So please guide me. Arjuna is doing this throughout Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna is submitting to Krishna. Krishna, I can't do this. Then Krishna is explaining, okay, you do this. So submission means we should be open. Should be open in front of the guides, the mentors, the devotees who are guiding us. So you have that attitude, that is submission. But if you have duplicity, that's opposite of submission. Many times externally we look, oh, so surrendered, but internally we don't have that faith. That will not work. Like elderly people, his 90-year-old person, if he jumps from chair to chair, how it will look? Not look good. And if a child, if he wears big thick glasses and he walks with stick, slowly, how it will look? Not look. So person should act as per his level. That is submission. So we go to Guru and we ask, I need help. I have these anarthas. Please help me. This is like submitting ourselves to him. Like we go to a doctor. We tell doctor, this is my problem. And sometimes in India, everybody is doctor. So they go to doctor and they tell, doctor, I have this disease. He said, don't tell me disease. Tell me your symptoms. I will tell what is your disease. Don't tell me your disease. Why you have come to me otherwise? So we should go and ask, this is my problem. Then Guru will say, okay, you have to do this. This is the remedy. That is submission.
Thank you.
Yes? I have a question there.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, today also and earlier Prabhuji also you told that don't
Oh,
add
yes,
anything.
you asked wonderful questions in the morning.
In today's provisions and earlier provisions also you told that no, don't add anything, don't delete anything from the instructions of the Lord Krishna, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Prabhupada. I will give just an example. During childhood, Lord Krishna was taking the makkah. After when he had gone to Dwarka, then he was taking makkah, butter, etc. Lord Chaitanya also, he was taking too much sweets, mithai. I read. So if we are now people are imitating same thing. So they are now getting cholesterol, triglyceride, diabetes. Just the people are following. So we need change. So parivartan is required.
This is Ardha Kukut Nyaya. You know what is Ardha Kukut Nyaya? Half hen logic. Half hen logic, there was one hen who would give golden eggs. Person thought that, oh, his back part is very nice, we give eggs. But front part is very expensive, you have to feed it. So let's cut it. So when you cut it, you don't get anything. In scriptures, they are not only just pastimes, they are also teachings. We don't imitate pastimes. Krishna dancing with gopis, we'll copy that? Then we'll end up in jail, not to doctor also, in jail. Krishna lifted Govardhan hill. Can we try that? So we don't imitate Lord, but we follow his instruction. What Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita? Yukta har viharasya. Have balanced life. Not too less sleep, not too much sleep. Not too much eating, not too less eating. That is regulation taught by Krishna. He can digest. As Jagannath is eating tons of Bhoga, we cannot digest. For us, Krishna is telling Yukta har viharasya. So we have to understand the teachings of scriptures and follow that. Then there is no need of addition and subtraction. When we take a part of it, we will get confused. Okay? Because these law books, these scriptures are law books for time immemorial. There is no change required in these law books. Only we need a proper teacher to guide us. Like Srila Prabhupada taught us how to apply the scriptures in life. That's what we do. Okay, thank you so much. Hare Krishna.